Feels really exciting to be here. So, this is me. Having studied at Stanford University, worked in investment banking in New York, and covered M&A emerging markets from my office in Paris, I can easily tell you that one of the toughest and most challenging places to work is in e-commerce in Turkey. Now, it is said that it is 100 times harder to build a profitable e-retail company in Turkey than in the US or in the EU. I don't have any source for that, but I guess you can always ask those big companies that got in Turkey and out, right? I mean, there was Otto Group, Naspers, Rocket Internet. Now, they're great, great companies, but it's not very easy to compete there. So we're a very young startup based in Istanbul that focuses on sports nutrition, e-retail of sports nutrition. So it's emerging, emerging, emerging. It doesn't get more emerging than that. Now, we had very little funding, and we're on track to reach our $30 million mark by 2017. And we're doing all that by delivering to only one single country for now. Right? So a little background about us. We were two good old M&A bankers who wanted a little more excitement in their lives. But most importantly, we're actually really analytical people. And we're very innovative. So we're hands-on and we get stuff done. We looked at various markets, and we thought this market was really good in terms of margin, in terms of growth, all over the world, by the way. It's still growing in the US very fast, and especially in emerging countries, it's just booming. And we thought that market worked really well with e-commerce. It has good shipping economics, relatively small volume, especially if you're talking about vitamins, with high value, no breakage, no spillage. It has, as I mentioned, good margins, and has high reorder rates and very low return rates. So we could get stuff done. We liked the market, and we thought it was good for e-commerce, so we decided to jump right in. Now, what do? Our website is specifically and solely focused on the e-retail of sports nutrition, meaning everything from our content to our features to our layout is specifically done for sports nutrition, as opposed to general retailers that are trying to sell TV, computer, food, bicycle, everything using the same layout. And when it's specialty retail, actually the content that you give, the feature that you give really matter a lot. We obviously have a mobile website, which we took out all the non-crucial elements in order to improve browsing and conversions. And we have an app for tablets and smartphones, obviously both iOS and Android. It's still the only app on sports nutrition in Turkey, but it was also the first app globally for smartphones for sports nutrition. So we're actually pretty innovative, and we're trying to be always ahead of our market, not just in Turkey, but globally. But there's the twist. We opened up a store when opening up stores was not that popular, as you all know. We quickly understood that stores allow you to have a great interface with customers and consumers. So we took all the feedback from there and started implementing it back online. By the way, now we have a dozen stores. They're all profitable. And it also allows us to sustain and to maintain your online margins. You're able to push the products that you want. And we didn't stop there. We also got into vending machines because that's the omni-channel philosophy. We wanted to be where our customers were. And obviously, our customers go to the gym, so we have to be there. And we got into the vending machine business. So the vending machine business, it's really interesting. But it's not only great for branding where you have your logo, and with those LED lights and everything, but also many of your consumers are first-time users of sports nutrition. So whenever they want to buy something back online, they go to your website and purchase it from there. So in terms of customer acquisition cost, it's really great. It's really efficient. We also have content. So actually, when we started, people in Turkey didn't really know what the sports nutrition products were for. So when we started both with content and retail. And we kept on building the content ever since. Soon enough, we had our owned and operated content network, which reaches above 5 to 6 million people monthly. And we went on to take on the distribution of the largest physical magazine title. Now, we're also doing that a little differently. We're not sending it the traditional way, to the very far end of the country and try to get the whole logistics bags and everything. We're not doing that. We give people a reason to come to our website each month because magazines are monthly, or increase our basket size and get it as a gift. And we don't incur any logistical costs. We just put it right in the package. So this is the type of stuff we do, and this solves, by the way, most of the problem. We're also into services. The main problem was that gyms in Turkey were not selling memberships for less than 1 year. And that was a huge problem, because if people don't go to the gym, they don't use our products. So we needed to get into this pay-as-you-go model. And this is exactly what Sportcard is doing. It was really successful. It really disrupted the market. But what ended up happening is all the gyms are now selling as pay-as-you-go. They're selling, daily, weekly, monthly. So what happened to our business model there? It's well, it's a little gone. But we're pretty creative. We're fixing things. And what we did there is we pivoted this into a second website, which is Fitting Class, which is pretty similar to ClassPass, actually. And this time our goal was to start women to get to hit the gym with the group classes, Pilates, Zumba, and everything. And it's pretty recent, Fitting Class pretty recent, but the numbers look great, and it looks really promising. So I hope we're going to be able to deliver good results there as well. Now, we like the retail so much that we decided to, the sports nutrition side so much that we decided to get also into the healthy living ecosystem, because we're into retail, content, services, so we're dominating the ecosystem. And we had one part missing, which was the vitamins part. And we built a second website as a second tab. It's a single basket, single sign-on, single basket, single checkout, and we put everything within the same package. That allows us to grow our user base significantly, and especially allows us to cross-sell. So just a little about our journey, because that's the question I get asked the most. Obviously, Turkey is a tough market, and you have to deal with tons of different stuff. But so are other places. We had to deal with small, reckless retailers that don't pay VAT taxes, don't declare employees. You can forget about corporate taxes, obviously. We've had to deal with, like huge spenders in the physical realm. We've had to compete against the local Amazons of Turkey. And we've had even to deal with suppliers getting into the retail. Okay? But the most important point here is that your ability to adapt and to respond to changing circumstances really defines your ability to compete. So the numbers, close to 90% of our revenue comes from our online channels, 70% of our revenue are coming from repeat orders, and 80% of our traffic is what you call relatively free. Organic, brand, direct. Our sales have been growing, really fast and very steadily. We had 120% CAGR over the last 3 years. And we've had a double-digit EBITDA margin who's growing really fast. And by the way, the highest EBITDA margin for e-retail in Turkey, totally. So, one more point. We did all of this with only $2 million funding. Now imagine what we can do with 10 or 20, or especially as a part of a larger group. If you have any recommendations for me, I would really appreciate if you shoot me an email, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.